Hey guys, so I have another four-eyed observation video for you. So basically, ever since I did the other video about like the whole Epstein files and how y'all ain't gonna get nothing because you don't appreciate daddy and you haven't said thank you once since he's been president, I have been paying more attention to the whole Epstein thing. Not like trying to prove who's guilty or not, because I kind of have already formed that conclusion in my head, but just more on how they really think y'all are stupid. Like, they really think you're fucking stupid. But you're lucky you have me with four eyes. So basically, I'm going to play this video for you that I found. This is some guy, his name's Benny Johnson or something, but I'm going to call him Bill because he's white enough to pass for a Bill. So Bill here, he went to the White House to go talk to Mike Johnson about the files being released. And for those of you that don't know, Mike Johnson is the guy that works at the White House. He's the House Speaker. He looks like he always had his lunch money taken when he was in school. So I'm going to play the video for you.
Whether we were lied to, more importantly, who actually runs the country, and who definitely doesn't want you to know about their crimes. This is the question of the era, and this is why we asked Mike Johnson today. We asked him straight up, listen, are you in favor of Ghislaine Maxwell testifying in Congress? Are you in favor of the release of documents, subpoena documents?
If you want them to subpoena the records, you'd have to have somebody who answers and responds to subpoenas. Because last time I checked, I think Trump, Daddy, didn't respond to 9. So good luck with that.
Of Jeffrey Epstein. You're in Congress. You're Article 1 of the Constitution. You have the power to do this. And Mike Johnson did not disappoint. I was blown away by this question. I was blown away. We're in Congress right now. We just finished this interview. That's why I'm still wearing a suit and tie. I was rocked by this answer. Here we go.
I have a question here about it that concerns either testifying or testimony for Ghislaine Maxwell, potentially before Congress, or if you would support members like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Anna Paulina Luna on the release of subpoenaing the Epstein documents from the DOJ, whether you would support either of those.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Marjorie or Anna about that specific subject, but I'm for transparency. We're intellectually consistent in this. Look, Reagan used to tell us we should trust the American people. I believe in that principle. I know.
We can't even decide who pays the tariff. I don't think giving it to the public to decide would be the right decision. Isn't this the point of the FBI investigation?
Well, I know President Trump does this well, and I trust him. I mean, he put together a team of his choosing, and they're doing a great job. It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide it. I mean, the White House and the White House team are privy to facts that I don't know. I mean, this isn't my lane. I haven't been involved in that. But I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there. And you know, Pam Bondi, I don't know when she originally made the statement. So I'm anxious to get this behind us.
Yeah, I can see that because there's so many victories and so many wins that are happening.
We just had the most incredible 6 months of any administration, arguably in the history of the United States. There are so many accomplishments. It would take us a stack of papers this high. And yet we're having to spend our time talking about this. Let's get it resolved.
That's going to be wildly refreshing for this audience. I'm going to speak on behalf of them to hear somebody just say, let's just have transparency with the American people, get it out there, and there's no reason to protect predators, right? So, I mean,
of course,
you know, this is the family values party. Let's just do it.
What Epstein was involved in was an unspeakable evil. We've got to stand against it, not just in word but in deed. And so we'll see what happens. Look, I do trust the president. I know his heart and head is in the right place. I don't question that at all. And I'm convinced.
That is a pitch perfect answer. I am for transparency.
Pitch perfect answer.
We should put everything out there and let the American people decide. Pam Bondi needs to come forward and explain it.
Don't ever get that tone when you're talking about Pamela Bondi behind her back to a freaking camera. You're at the White House. Go say it to her face that way. Go up to her face and say she needs to. What did you do? I don't know what the fuck you just said, but go say that shit again. Say it to her face. That exact tone. I feel like Pam Bondi would not take that shit very well. In fact, I don't even think Daddy would let you talk to her that way, you ungrateful bastard.
Let's get this resolved. You can see that Mike Johnson is irritated by the way that this has been handled, like so many of us, because for some reason, the sins of primarily left-wing Democrat billionaires are somehow coming back and slandering MAGA. And I take offense to that. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Johnson flips Epstein's script on GOP, says Ghislaine Maxwell should testify, Pam Bondi must release the files. Republican shared on a podcast with conservative pundit Benny Johnson that he would like more transparency at the White House surrounding the highly sought-after files. Asked if he would support the efforts for Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell to testify, he said, "I'm for transparency." And he says that the Justice Department needs to do a better job. We're intellectually consistent on this. I told Trump. He put together a team of his choosing, and I think they're doing a great job, he said. The White House and the White House team are private facts that maybe I don't know. But he emphatically said that Pam Bondi needs to do more and needs to release more files. Fascinating. His sentiment appeared to cut against the White House reluctance to engage on the topic. Last week, Trump balked after a reporter asked him about Epstein. But President Trump even has changed his tune today, maybe because
For him. Why does he talk with a whistle? He's just, seems fucking weird.
of the work of all of us, right? This is what you call tough love. This is what a movement is all about. This is how you create and fuse a movement. House Speaker Mike Johnson breaks with Trump on Epstein files. We should put everything.
Oh my God, this guy. Look at his smile. He's so happy. He's like, I did that. I did that. So stupid.
What you call tough love. This is what a movement is all about. This is how you create and fuse a movement. House Speaker Mike Johnson breaks with Trump on Epstein files. We should put everything out there. Look at this. New York Post, Daily Mail. Subject. We should put everything out there and let the American people decide. He said. This is the Speaker of the House. He's third in line for the presidency. He's one of the most powerful men in America. And now these are the headlines. Everybody's saying it. Speaker Mike Johnson went on camera and said he supports Ghislaine Maxwell testifying and wants everything released. Now, there is fake news out there that Mike Johnson voted to block the release of the Epstein files. This is a fake, made-up garbage from left-wingers. The reason why this is garbage is because they think that you're dumb. They want you to not understand what House rules look like. But the breakdown, which Marjorie Taylor Greene came on and broke it down very succinctly for us.
Did he say Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and broke it down for you guys? Good luck with that one. Her and her space lasers.
Is that if you allow Democrats to take control of the House floor, they could start running impeachments against Donald Trump. The procedural vote was trying to use a hinge vote or an embarrassing vote like this, we just want to release the Epstein files to actually take control of the House floor. So that's what Democrats are trying to do.
That's why they have rats in their name.
You were sitting right there. Why didn't you ask Mike Johnson to do more rather than just give him a little hand job under the desk?
If you see that headline, it is fake. Now, ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has said for a long time that he actually wants the release of the Epstein files along with the JFK files, 9/11 files. At least on the JFK files, President Trump has absolutely kept his word on that. Trump today has thrown the ball back in Pam Bondi's court on this and says Bondi should release whatever she thinks is credible on Epstein, which I think is incredible. President Trump taking what I believe is a semi-cautious, but a good stance here technically, right? And this is the first, what I think is the first great answer from President Trump on this. But also a consistent answer. In fact, if you watch some of his older interviews, President Trump saying effectively in this Fox News interview what he said today, which is that there are people who could have inserted or manipulated these files in order to embarrass individuals, okay? And that we have to be cautious about that. Granted. But that doesn't mean you don't release anything and that the case is closed. That's insane, right? You have to, that just means you proceed cautiously, right, on these things. President Trump's answer was great today. He said, whatever Pam Bondi thinks is credible, she needs to release it. President Trump ordering the release, saying that some files.
But I think the Attorney General, the credibility is very important. And you want credible evidence for something like that. And I think the Attorney General has handled it very well. And it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Credible, she should release. Yeah.
What did she tell you about the review?
If she thinks is credible, she should release. If she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
Or some things have been manipulated. Okay, that's fine. Let the American public see it. Explain your work. Do a press conference. Talk about it, right? We know there are different lists. People on our program have said that there are different lists. Alan Dershowitz has come on our program and said that there's a list of like just people that he knew and had coffee with, or is his gardener, right? You know, somebody who vacuumed the floors, right? And then there are people that actually committed crimes, and the federal government knows the difference between the two of them. So please explain the difference, right? Nobody's for innocent people having their lives destroyed here.
Unless they're Democrats. We can destroy the lives of Democrats and liberals and anyone who does not support Daddy blindly. Yes, your lives, you're on the chopping block.
But there were lives destroyed here. And it's time for some honesty. So we actually, like in our interview, so our interview went live, and then Trump said this, maybe in our interview,
He literally was like, in our own small way. Get over yourself.
Our own small way, we had a, you know, maybe a slight effect, right, on what President Trump has seen from his movement. Speaker of the House, obviously, is somebody who is a strong ally of the president, and when he calls for the release of the Epstein list, you know, that's a big one, man. That's a good one. That's a big one. Having Speaker Johnson out and out call for the release of this list is massive. And that's our job. Our job is to always be working for you and always be asking your questions. And then, you know, God has a plan.
Okay, well, just remember God's watching you. So all your lies, you're going to be judged for them. Hurry the fuck up.
And here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the stream and for being here with us, locking in and helping us, go change America for the better and fix this country by destroying the predator cults that run it.
Fuck you, Dale! Fuck you!
What just happened this past Friday? Very quietly, so that maybe people wouldn't know. Not. What did she do? She fires her personal ethics chief. When you work at the Department of Justice, the reason why you need an ethics chief is so that you don't run afoul of ethics. And Bloomberg reporter over here keeping tabs on this, I want to give him attribution, Ben Penn, reporting that Attorney General Pam Bondi fired her personal ethics advisor on Friday, Joseph Terrell, Tirrell. Terrell spent nearly 20 years at the DOJ. He received a termination letter from Bondi on Friday, July 11th, that did not state a reason for his immediate removal from federal service. Here's a letter. Have a nice day. Peace out. You don't have a job anymore. Terrell used to work at the FBI. He served 10 years at the FBI, came to the DOJ in 2018, headed up the DOJ's ethics office. What did his job include? Listen to this. Reviewing and approving financial disclosures. Oh, that's important. Recusals. Also important. Waivers to conflicts of interest. In any administration, one of the most critical ones in the Trump administration, and advice on travel and gifts for not only Bondi, but Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, FBI Director Kash Patel, and other DOJ leaders.
Could it be overseeing like an airplane? I don't know, maybe. Maybe not. Could he oversee if maybe any documents get tampered with, or maybe any files just happen to draw papers out, or just like lists get rewritten, like the Bible? I don't know. The watchdog. What do they do? Who gives a fuck about ethics?
Keeping an eye on you and others, because if you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't have a problem having that man there. Terrell also oversaw a team of ethics staffers that provided guidance to employees in all of the DOJ's litigating offices, law enforcement agencies, and other branches, period. That is so important, right? So it's not just the DOJ leaders and the FBI leaders and the other major agency leaders that are getting this advice, but he is overseeing an entire staff that is giving counsel to the FBI and other law enforcement agencies and the litigating offices. And remember, what have we been talking about here at the Katie Fang News Channel? Emile Bove putting pressure, Todd Blanche putting pressure. You know, you've got DOJ lawyers being fired for their work and being impartial and speaking up when they're being forced or pressured to do something wrong or unethical. I mean, we're seeing this. We have a DOJ whistleblower who's come forward that has damning evidence against Emile Bove. So these are the things that you need to have. You need to have people that are going to be giving this advice. And now this man who is overseeing all of that has been booted by Pamela Joe. It says here in the article that Terrell's removal is separate but potentially related to the other roughly 20 employees involved in special counsel Jack Smith's investigations who were also fired this Friday on July 11th. Talk about cleaning house, but not in a good way. Terrell advised Jack Smith's office on ethics matters during his criminal prosecutions of Donald Trump. You don't say. Pam Bondi removed and reassigned other career DOJ officials in charge of internal checks on the conduct of the DOJ. That includes Bradley Weinsheimer, an associate deputy attorney general who made the final calls on Terrell's ethics decisions. So wait a second. So not only did Terrell oversee Bondi and others in a good way, but he actually had somebody who signed off on it or made the final call. I mean, talk about a very important backstop so that not one person would have that role of superseding incredible power at the DOJ. And yet, Pam Bondi decided to get rid of him, as well as the guy, Bradley Weinsheimer, who was the final call maker on Terrell's ethics decisions. She also removed or reassigned Jeffrey Ragsdale, who led the Professional Responsibility Office that investigated attorney misconduct. Trump, in February, got rid of the head of the Office of Government Ethics, an agency that would actually regularly consult with Terrell's team on conflicts and disclosures of political appointees. Joseph Terrell posted on his LinkedIn profile just a few hours ago. He acknowledged receiving this letter that you're seeing on your screen right now from the Office of the Attorney General, memorandum for Joseph W. Terrell. And it just says, here's your official notice that you are removed from your position as Director, Departmental Ethics Office, Justice Management Division, and from the Federal Service effective immediately. It cites to Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution and the laws of the U.S. Just summarily says your employment with the Department of Justice is hereby terminated and you are removed from federal service effective immediately. It's dated July 11th, 2025, and it's signed by Pamela Joe Bondi. Mr. Terrell notes that his career in public service has spanned a quarter of a century, starting as a United States naval officer, becoming a lawyer, being at the FBI beginning in 2006, and then he moved to the Department of Ethics office at Maine Justice as deputy director, and in 2023 he was promoted to the senior executive service and the position of director of the ethics office. And here's where he definitely zings Bondi and others. He says, I took the oath at 18 as a midshipman to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. I have taken that oath at least 5 more times since then. That oath did not come with the caveat that I need only support the Constitution when it is easy or convenient. I look forward to finding ways to continue in my personal calling of service to my country. And then he goes on to quote Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. He also said that he believes that Edmund Burke is right and that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing.
So I don't know. I just think that's really fucked up. Like, if you think about it, just thinking about, dedicating your life to something and then you see people that really don't give a shit about it just come in and just destroy it. Now, this next video is a video of Megyn Kelly. For those of you guys who don't know, she's just some other bitch that likes to suck off Trump too. So she's here talking to someone who has basically been reporting on Epstein for a while. She's from the UK. The reason why I added her little clip is because she says something here that I want to speak to. I'm going to point something out after.
Everyone who's really been following this case closely says the same thing. Follow the money. Where did it come from? That alone is worth more disclosure, and someone needs to answer that question. I mean, that's knowable through a forensic accounting of Jeffrey Epstein's documents, of his contacts, of who paid him the money, like where did it come from when it went into the bank accounts, where did it go out, if at all, by Jeffrey?
I
Like,
don't know how this didn't register to you. Based on what you just said, follow the money, the day before he came into office, created a meme coin. So did his wife, and so did his members of his family. And you're going to sit here and say that in order to figure out what's going on with Epstein, you'd have to follow the money when the person you're protecting and supporting and promoting has basically a way to get paid off without being able to trace any of the funds. So how do we know? And this is just, I'm just.
we've never received the answers on that.
Information has not been released that could be damaging to the Trump administration and the friends and family of the Trump administration and their billionaire corrupt supporters. And so they're actively engaging in a cover-up. Option one, they lied for years. Option two, they're engaging in a cover-up.
Okay guys, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Don't accuse me of anything. It's just my 4-eyed observation. I'm just